Why does a genius engineer lose everything while a quiet janitor dies with millions of dollars? We are taught to believe that money is mathematics. We think it is about complex formulas and studying the data. We believe that if we are smart, we will be rich. But this is a dangerous illusion. The truth is not found in a spreadsheet. Money is not physics. It is psychology. It is not about what you know. It is about how you behave. Your financial problems are not caused by your bank account. They are caused by your ego, your fear, and your inability to sit in silence. To fix your money, you do not need more intelligence. You need more peace. You must stop looking at the numbers and start looking at yourself. Welcome to Luminary English, where stories light the way to better English. You are not just watching a video. You are stepping into a story. Listen closely, feel every word, and let today be the chapter that changes your English forever. Part 1. No one is crazy. Let us sit in silence for a moment. Close your eyes. Think about the last time you saw someone spend money in a way that confused you. Maybe they bought a house that was too big. Maybe they kept all their money under a mattress. Your first thought was probably judgment. You thought that they were not smart. You thought they were making a mistake. This is the great misconception. We believe that everyone should treat money the same way. We believe that because the laws of mathematics are the same for everyone, the laws of money should be the same too. But this is not true. Let me tell you a story about two souls born in different times. First, there is a man named John. John was born in the year 1920. When he was a teenager, the world collapsed. It was the Great Depression. He watched his parents lose everything. He saw banks fail. He saw people starving in the streets. In his mind, the stock market was a monster. It was a place where wealth went to die. To John, holding cash in his hand was the only safety. It was not logical to invest. It was emotional suicide. Now imagine a woman named Sarah. She was born in the year 1980. During her teenage years, the economy was strong. The stock market went up and up. It increased 10 times. For Sarah, the market was not a monster. It was a river of gold. To her, saving cash was stupid because money lost value over time. If John and Sarah meet today, they will not understand each other. Sarah will say that John is crazy for keeping cash. John will say that Sarah is crazy for taking risks. Who is wrong? Neither of them. You see, your personal experience with money makes up maybe 0.0001% of what has happened in the world, but it makes up 80% of how you think the world works. We are all prisoners of our own history. We make decisions based on the scars we carry from our past. The monk knows that true wisdom comes from empathy, not mathematics. When you see someone making a financial decision that looks crazy to you, remember this truth. They are not crazy. They are just playing a game on a different board. They have learned lessons that you have not learned, and you have learned lessons that they have not learned. To find peace with money, you must stop judging the path of others. Focus on your own journey. Understand that every decision is made by a person trying to survive and be happy just like you. Shadowing practice. Listen to this sentence. Feel the rhythm. Then repeat it with me. I do not judge others because I do not know their story. I do not judge others because I do not know their story. I do not judge others because I do not know their story. Part 2. Luck and risk. Let us breathe in deeply, and let us breathe out slowly. We like to believe that we are the masters of our own destiny. The ego loves to whisper a simple story to us. It says that if you are rich and successful, it is because you worked hard. It says that if you are poor and struggling, it is because you are lazy. We want the world to be fair. We want action to equal result. But the universe does not care about what we want. The universe is vast and complex. And in this complexity, there are two hidden forces that guide our lives. One is called luck. The other is called risk. They are brothers. They are the same force working in different directions. The misconception is that individual effort is the only thing that matters. We look at a billionaire and we say that he is a genius. We look at a bankrupt man and we say that he is a fool. We ignore the invisible hand of chance. Let me tell you a story about two young boys. The first boy is a name you know, Bill Gates. Bill was smart. He was very hardworking, but he was also incredibly lucky. In the year 1968, Bill attended Lakeside School. This was the only high school in the world that had a computer. The chances of a young boy attending this specific school were 1 in a million. If Bill had gone to any other high school, he would not have learned to code. There would be no Microsoft. He admits this himself. He had 1 in a million luck. But there was another boy. His name was Kent Evans. Kent was Bill Gates's best friend. He was just as smart as Bill. He was just as ambitious. He shared the same dream of owning a computer company. He studied at the same school. He had the same potential. But Kent never became a billionaire. Before he could graduate high school, Kent went mountain climbing. He slipped and fell. He died instantly. The odds of dying on a mountain at that age are roughly 1 in a million. Do you see the balance? Bill Gates experienced 1 in a million luck. Kent Evans experienced 1 in a million risk. They had the same mind. They had the same drive. But the universe gave them different gifts. One received a path to the top of the world. The other received a tragic end. This is a hard lesson for the ego. It means that you can do everything right and still lose. It also means you can make mistakes and still win. The monk accepts this uncertainty. When you judge yourself, or when you judge others, you must be careful. If you are successful, be humble. Do not think you are special. You might just be lucky. If you fail, be kind to yourself. You might not be lazy. You might just be facing risk. Focus less on specific individuals. Do not try to copy exactly what a billionaire did because you cannot copy their luck. Focus on broad patterns. Focus on hard work and patience. But always remember that the wind blows where it wants to blow. You cannot control the wind. You can only adjust your sails. Shadowing practice. Clear your mind. Listen to the truth in these words. Repeat after me. I cannot control the world, but I can control my reaction. I cannot control the world, but I can control my reaction. I cannot control the world, but I can control my reaction. Part 3. The Trap of Never Enough. Let us look into the mirror of our desires. What is the most dangerous word in the English language? It is not a curse word. It is a small, simple word. The word is more. The human mind is designed to want more. When you have no car, you want a small car. When you have a small car, you want a fast car. When you have a fast car, you want a private airplane. The goal always moves away from you. The misconception is that money brings satisfaction. We believe that if we reach a certain number, we will finally stop running. But for many people, the finish line is an illusion. As you step forward, the line steps back. Let me tell you a tragic story about a man named Rajat Gupta. Rajat was a man who started with nothing. He was an orphan in India, but He had a brilliant mind. He worked incredibly hard. He climbed the mountain of success until he reached the very top. By the year 2008, he was worth $100 million. Let us pause. $100 million. For 99.9% of the people on Earth, this is an unimaginable amount of money. It means total freedom. It means your children and your grandchildren are safe. A wise monk would look at this fortune and say, "It is finished. You have won the game." But Rajat Gupta did not have the mind of a monk. He compared himself to the billionaires he saw in his social circle. He felt poor because his friends were richer than him. The $100 million did not feel like freedom. It felt like failure. So in a moment of madness, he tried to make more. He used illegal secrets to buy stocks. He cheated. He was caught. The police came. He went to prison. He lost his reputation. He lost his freedom. He lost the respect of the world. He had everything a man could dream of. But he threw it all away to get a little bit more of something he did not need. This teaches us a profound lesson. There is no number that can fill the hole in a restless soul. If you cannot be happy with what you have now, you will not be happy when you have double. The solution is to learn the skill of enough. Enough does not mean you do not strive. It does not mean you settle for less. It means you know when the risk is too high. It means realizing that your reputation, your freedom, and your sleep are more valuable than an extra zero in your bank account. Do not risk what you need and what you have for what you do not need and what you do not have. That is not ambition. That is madness. Shadowing practice. Breathe slowly. Let the anxiety of more leave your body. Repeat this truth. I am rich because I know what is enough. I am rich because I know what is enough. I am rich because I know what is enough. Part 4. The magic of patience. We are always searching for the secret. We look for a special trading technique. We look for the next big opportunity. We want to find the rare person who has the magic touch. We believe that wealth comes from finding an angle that nobody else sees. This is the greatest illusion in the world of money. It is the misconception that the most powerful force in finance is intelligence or high returns. The monk knows the truth. The most powerful force in finance is something simple. It is something quiet. That force is patience. It is called compounding. Let me tell you about the world's most successful investor. You know his name, Warren Buffett. Many people try to copy his investing decisions. They try to copy his analysis. They think the secret is his brain power or his stock picks. But let us look at the numbers. Warren Buffett started investing when he was 10 years old. He has been doing this for over 80 years. His average annual return is about 22%. That is incredible. But other investors have had higher returns for shorter periods. So why is Warren Buffett considered the wealthiest and the best? It is simple. The 99% of his wealth did not come from his brain. It came from the 8 decades of repeating the process. Imagine a small snowball. On day 1, you roll it a short distance and it collects a little snow. On day 2, you roll it again. Now it is slightly bigger, so it collects even more snow. On day 50, the snowball is a giant, and with every single roll, it triples in size. It becomes an avalanche. Warren Buffett is that giant snowball. The first 60 years were only the base. The magic of compounding means that you do not need spectacular returns. You need consistent returns for a spectacular length of time. The difference between a return of 22% for 80 years and a return of 9.6% for 80 years is not just double. It is exponential. It is confusing to the human mind. The result is so massive that we cannot truly grasp it. The lesson from the monk is simple. Stop searching for the quick secret. Stop trying to find the one company that will double your money next week. You need to focus on two things only. The first is consistent returns, not spectacular ones. The second is survival. You must survive the economic storms. You must not interrupt the process. If you take your money out because you panic, you break the compounder, the machine stops. Wealth is built over decades. If you have time on your side, that is your greatest financial tool. Honor the process. Wait. Do not rush the river. Shadowing practice. Sit and feel the stillness of time. Repeat this phrase with quiet power. My patience is the greatest financial tool I own. My patience is the greatest financial tool I own. My patience is the greatest financial tool I own. Part 5. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Let us reflect on the discipline of an ancient tree. The tree does not try to grow tall in 1 year. It only tries to survive the winter. The tree knows that if it lives long enough, it will become enormous. This is the great divide in finance. We think that getting wealthy is the main challenge. We think that if you can earn $1 million, you have won the game. The misconception is that the skills required for the first stage are the same as the skills required for the second stage. They are not. Getting rich requires optimism and risk. Staying rich requires fear and humility. Getting rich means taking risks. It means believing in a future that others do not see. It means being willing to look like a fool for a short time. But to stay rich, you need the exact opposite temperament. You need a survival mindset. You need to be paranoid. You need to accept that one wrong decision can erase 10 years of good decisions. You need to stop taking big risks and simply preserve what you have built. Let me tell you about two types of players. There is a man named Tom. Tom was an aggressive investor. He was brilliant at spotting new opportunities. In the space of 5 years, he became a wealthy man. He thought he was invincible. The ego told him that because he was smart enough to win once, he would always win. He did not have a plan for a market crash. When the market fell 40%, he did not pull back. He doubled his risk believing he could win it back quickly. He went completely bankrupt. He achieved incredible success but lacked the humility to protect it. Then there is a woman named Lena. Lena was never spectacular. She only earned moderate returns. But Lena had one rule. She always kept a large amount of cash. People called her fearful. They said she was missing opportunities. But Lena's only goal was survival. When the market crashed, she did not lose her money. She watched Tom disappear. The skill that separated Lena from Tom was not intelligence. It was knowing when to stop chasing the upside. It was recognizing the danger of the downside. The monk teaches us that the first rule of compounding is not high returns. It is not brilliance. The first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it. You must survive. You must avoid the catastrophic failure that takes you out of the game forever. The highest form of financial discipline is knowing that you have enough cash to withstand a severe, unexpected shock. It means living well below the amount you are capable of earning. It means accepting that what you have is already a treasure. Protect the treasure. Do not let greed tell you that you must find a bigger treasure that does not exist. Shadowing practice. Take a deep breath. Focus on the word survival. Repeat this truth slowly. I must survive today so I can play the game tomorrow. I must survive today so I can play the game tomorrow. I must survive today so I can play the game tomorrow. Part 6. Tails, you win. Let us breathe and acknowledge our greatest weakness, our fear of being wrong. When you look at your life, you want every decision to be good. When you look at your investments, you want every single stock to go up. If one fails, you feel like a terrible investor. If one fails, you feel shame. This is the great misconception that ruins peace. You believe that you need a high batting average to win the game of money. You think that being wrong is a failure that must be avoided at all costs. But the monk knows that the path to abundance is paved with loss. Let me tell you about a successful venture capitalist named Alex. Venture capital is the business of funding new companies. Alex knows that for every 100 companies he invests in, 90 of them will fail completely. They will return $0, 8 of them will break even. They will return the money he put in. But 2 of those 100 companies will be the great successes. One will be Facebook, one will be Google. Those 2 companies, the spectacular winners, are called the tail in the distribution. The gains from those 2 tail companies are so enormous they pay for the losses of the 90 failures. They pay for the costs of running the business. And they provide the massive profit for Alex. Do you see the lesson? The 90 failures were not mistakes. They were necessary sacrifices. They were the cost of admission to find the 2 winners. If Alex had stopped investing after the first 50 failures, he would have missed his entire fortune. If he had panicked and sold his 2 winners too early, he would also have missed the fortune. Your portfolio, your career, and your life work the exact same way. One success in your career will pay for 10 experiments that failed. One major investment win will cover years of small losses. We focus on the losses because they hurt our ego. We forget that the only thing that matters is the magnitude of the spectacular winner. The discipline required is simple but difficult. You must accept that most of what you try will not work. That is not a sign of failure. It is the cost of doing business. You must be prepared to look wrong 100 times because the 2 times you are right will change everything. Do not let the small failures disturb your peace. Stop trying to cut the weeds and the flowers at the same time. The goal is simply to stay in the game long enough to find the tail. The monk looks at every loss and sees only a necessary expense. If you play the game long enough and consistently enough, the exponential winner will find you. Shadowing practice. Take a deep breath. Focus on accepting risk. Repeat this truth with confidence. I accept loss as the price of finding opportunity. I accept loss as the price of finding opportunity. I accept loss as the price of finding opportunity. Part 7. Freedom, the highest dividend. Let us ask ourselves a fundamental question. What is the greatest currency in the universe? It is not gold. It is not dollars. It is time. We often misunderstand the true purpose of money. The misconception is that money exists to buy things. We believe we must acquire the bigger house, the faster car, and the more expensive watch. We see luxury as the ultimate goal. But the monk understands that money is simply a tool. The highest and best dividend money can pay is not measured in luxury items. It is measured in independence. The ultimate goal of building wealth is to buy back your time. Let me tell you about a successful professional named David. David earns nearly $1 million every year. He has a huge, beautiful house and 2 exotic cars. He looks rich, but because he spends every single dollar he earns, his fear is immense. He is tied to his job. If his boss calls him at midnight, he must answer. If he loses his job tomorrow, he cannot survive for more than 90 days. David is a wealthy slave. Now imagine a woman named Maria. Maria earns a moderate salary, but she lives below her means. She is careful with her spending. She has saved enough to cover 3 full years of her living expenses. Maria can tell her boss no. Maria can quit her job and take a 6-month break to travel the world or study a new skill. She can wait for the perfect opportunity instead of rushing into a bad one because of panic. David has money, but Maria has freedom. David has consumption, but Maria has control. The monk asks you to silence the noise of consumption. Stop looking at your neighbor's fancy things. Look at your options. The secret to true wealth is not maximizing your returns. The secret is minimizing your dependence on others. Saving money is not just for retirement 20 years from now. Saving is for gaining flexibility tomorrow. The best financial plan is a buffer of cash that gives you the peace of mind to control what you do and when you do it. When you have control over your time, you have truly won the game. Shadowing practice. Take a deep breath and feel the power of independence. Repeat this truth. I use my money to buy back my time. I use my money to buy back my time. I use my money to buy back my time. Part 8. The Man in the Car Paradox. Let us reflect on the human need for admiration. The ego is a powerful voice. It whispers that you need to be seen. It tells you that if you have more beautiful things, people will respect you more. So we chase luxury items. We seek the spotlight. The misconception is that spending money to look rich is the path to respect. We believe that a huge house or a fancy car will make people look at us and say, "That person is successful. I admire them." But this belief is a profound psychological paradox. It is called the man in the car paradox. Let me tell you about a successful businessman named Robert. Robert buys an extravagant new sports car. It costs $200,000. When Robert drives this car, he thinks the entire world is looking at him and thinking how amazing he is. He believes the car is a symbol of his greatness. He feels powerful. But let us look at the young woman named Maria standing on the sidewalk. She hears the roar of the engine. She sees the beautiful, shining red car. Her eyes follow it down the street. What is Maria thinking? Is she thinking, "Wow, Robert is so intelligent and disciplined"? No. Maria is thinking, "Wow, if I had that car, how fast would I drive? How would I look in that car?" Maria is not admiring Robert. Maria is admiring the idea of herself in that car. She is not thinking about the sacrifice Robert made to buy it. She is only imagining the feeling of wealth and speed. Robert spent $200,000 to get a compliment that never reached him. The money bought attention, but the attention was directed entirely at the object, not the owner. Robert paid a massive price to feed an ego that was never satisfied. This is the great lesson of the paradox. Nobody cares about you and your possessions as much as you care about them. The cost of the item is real, but the admiration is an illusion. The monk teaches you that true respect is quiet. True respect is earned through humility, integrity, and kindness. These things cost $0. If you chase admiration with your money, you will bankrupt yourself trying to impress people who are not paying attention. Focus on building wealth that frees you, not possessions that enslave you. Silence the ego's need to show off. Your savings account is a much more beautiful thing than any fancy car because the savings account gives you control. Shadowing practice. Let us find power in silence. Repeat this phrase with quiet conviction. I seek respect from my character, not my possessions. I seek respect from my character, not my possessions. I seek respect from my character, not my possessions. Part 9. Wealth is what you do not see. Let us close our eyes and try to find the difference between illusion and reality. We live in a world obsessed with appearance. We look at a person and immediately try to judge their success based on what we can see. We look at the car they drive. We look at the clothes they wear. We look at the size of their home. The misconception is that rich and wealthy mean the same thing. They do not. Rich is visible. It is the current income or the possessions that you display. Wealth is invisible. It is the money that you have saved but have not yet spent. It is the quiet reserve. When you see a man driving a stunning $200,000 sports car, you do not think about his finances, but the monk knows the truth. What you are truly looking at is someone who has exactly $200,000 less wealth than they had before they bought the car. You are seeing a transaction. You are seeing a debt. You are seeing a choice. Let me tell you about two neighbors who live on the same street. There is a man named Michael. Michael drives a new luxury sport utility vehicle. He eats at the most expensive restaurants. He constantly posts pictures of his trips to exotic islands. Michael is rich. But Michael is also deeply in debt. His lifestyle costs him everything he earns. He has $0 in his savings account. He has the appearance of wealth, but zero peace of mind. Then there is a woman named Susan. Susan drives a simple 10-year-old car that runs perfectly. She wears comfortable clothes. She does not post her life online, but Susan is wealthy. She has 4 years' worth of expenses saved in a low-cost fund. Michael looks like a winner to the world. Susan looks average, but Susan has freedom. Susan has power. Susan is safe from the unexpected disaster. Michael is one bad business decision away from collapse. The monk teaches that if you want to be wealthy, you must stop trying to look rich. Every single dollar you spend trying to prove to others how successful you are is a dollar you steal from your own future. True wealth is the ability to walk away from a bad situation. It is the ability to sleep well at night, knowing you have a large, invisible safety net. This kind of power is silent. It does not shout. It does not need to be validated on social media. Cultivate the invisible wealth. Focus on what is hidden. Focus on your options. That is where true peace resides. Shadowing practice. Take a deep, slow breath. Repeat this truth. My true wealth is invisible to the world. My true wealth is invisible to the world. My true wealth is invisible to the world. Part 10. Save money. Saving for the unknown. Let us turn our minds toward the future. We seek stability. We seek control. We try to plan every detail of our lives from today to the day we retire. We believe that if our plans are rational, the future will be kind. The misconception is that you only need to save money for specific goals. We have categories in our budget for a house, for a car, and for retirement. We think that if we plan for these three things, we are protected. But the monk knows that the world is ruled by chaos, not by spreadsheets. We are not saving for the known costs. We are saving for the inevitable costs that we cannot name today. Let me tell you about a rational man named Chris. Chris was a perfect planner. He had a goal for every dollar he earned. He was working hard to save for a down payment on his first house. His plan was tight. It had zero margin of error. He did not account for the one thing every spreadsheet ignores: life. One day, his refrigerator broke. The cost to replace it was $1,000. 2 weeks later, his car needed a sudden engine repair costing $2,000. Because Chris had planned for every penny, he had no buffer. He had to take the money he saved for his house and spend it on the repairs. His plan collapsed. The stress was immense. He took on high-interest debt just to survive the month. Now look at a woman named Eva. Eva was not working toward a single specific goal. She simply had a rule: save 20% of every paycheck no matter what. She called this her uncertainty fund. She had no purpose for the money. Its only purpose was to exist. When Eva faced the same refrigerator and car repairs, she paid for them instantly. Her life did not slow down. Her stress did not increase. Her savings account was her fortress of peace. Chris was saving for specific things he wanted. Eva was saving for the general things she could not predict. A margin of error is not a luxury, it is a necessity. The greatest financial value of a cash buffer is not its interest rate. It is the ability to change your mind. It is the ability to wait. It is the ability to avoid making a desperate, rash decision when the world is panicking. The monk asks you to stop looking for a reason to save. Treat savings as a required expense. Put your money away and do not name it. Name it simply my peace. This invisible safety net is the only thing that can protect you from the financial chaos of life. Shadowing practice. Breathe in deeply. Accept the uncertainty of the world. Repeat this phrase: I save money for the things I do not see. I save money for the things I do not see. I save money for the things I do not see. Part 11. First-person reflection. Before we finish this journey together, I want to share a personal truth with you. For many years, I too chased the illusion. I used to think I was above the traps of the ego. I thought that because I understood the mathematics of investing, I was safe. I was not. I was constantly comparing my savings to others. I was trading my personal peace for a number that was never high enough. I thought my net worth defined my self-worth. I learned the hard way that ambition without a definition of enough is simply a treadmill. You are running, but you are going nowhere. The financial chaos I saw in my life was only a reflection of the emotional chaos in my heart. The greatest shift happened when I stopped looking for the complex secret. I stopped trying to find the 1000% return. I started focusing on the simplest things. I started saving without a goal simply because I valued the flexibility it provided. I learned to love the silence of a modest life. When I stopped caring about what others thought of my possessions, I found true peace. The quiet power of a safety net is more valuable than any extravagant luxury. I hope that you can find this peace much faster than I did. Find freedom in the choice to be humble. Find power in the discipline of being satisfied. You have walked the path of the financial monk today. You have looked past the numbers and into the soul. The wisdom of money is not found in an algorithm. It is found in humility and self-control. Go now and integrate these lessons. Stop looking at your money as a trophy and start viewing it as a tool for independence. Remember that every time you sit and listen to a deep dive lesson like this, you are performing a double duty. You are building financial wisdom, and you are building English mastery. The words you heard today are not just vocabulary. They are level 3 B1 to B2 power words. You learned about exponential growth, the illusion of consumption, and the catastrophic downside of ego. You trained your ear to understand complex and compound sentence structures. The path to fluency is built by consistency, not speed. Just like compounding in finance, repetition over time is the secret to mastery. If this lesson brought you a moment of peace or gave you a new idea for your life, please honor the path. Like this video to help others find this quiet wisdom. Subscribe to Luminary English for the next chapter in your journey. And most importantly, comment below. Tell me the one word that truly means enough to you. Your engagement is our greatest motivation. Find your peace. Find your fluency. Thank you for listening.